The Galactic Council had gathered in their massive crystal chamber, the stars outside shining like scattered diamonds across the dark space. Counselor Vecren paced nervously, his long robes brushing the polished floor, while Ambassador Lyra tried to calm the others. "Something is wrong," Vecren said, his voice tense. "We have not received any communication from the humans in the last 3 cycles." The room fell silent, a heavy tension filling the air, every council member staring at the flickering star maps before them. Normally, humanity was unpredictable, yes, but they were never silent. There were always messages, always ships, always signs of life. Yet now, nothing, not a single signal, not a single fleet report, nothing. Ambassador Lyra moved to the central console, her fingers flying across the holographic controls, trying to access human colonies across the outer rim. "It's as if they vanished from existence," she whispered, her voice betraying fear. Counselor Vecren's eyes narrowed. "No, Lyra, this is deliberate. Humans never disappear by accident. Someone or something is behind this." Outside the council chamber, the stars twinkled peacefully, hiding the mystery that now shook the entire galaxy. Fleets were ready to depart, but hesitation hung over the council. Every leader knew that humans were clever, stronger than they seemed, and capable of plans beyond anyone's imagination. Minutes turned to hours as the council debated, maps showing empty colonies, silent trading posts, and abandoned stations. "They left no messages, no warnings, no threats," said Counselor Rithen, shaking his head. "How could they vanish so quietly?" A young officer interrupted. "Sir, we are detecting unusual energy fluctuations on several former human colonies. Readings are faint but consistent. They are not gone, something is there, hidden." The council fell into murmurs, curiosity mixing with fear. Lyra's eyes widened. "Hidden? But why? What are they planning?" Vecren's expression hardened. "We underestimated them once, we will not make that mistake again. Prepare fleets, send scouts, find them, we must understand their intentions." The officers hurried, launching small scout ships into deep space, trying to follow any trace of human activity, but each scout returned with the same report: nothing. It was as if humans had dissolved into the galaxy itself, leaving only shadows behind. Meanwhile, in the silent emptiness of space, humans had gathered on the farthest edge of explored systems, far beyond the reach of the Council's spies. They watched quietly, their ships dark, their presence invisible to sensors. They moved with purpose, knowing the Council believed them gone, and that belief gave humans the advantage. Back in the Council chamber, tension escalated. Some members suggested sending a warning to the outer systems, others argued for waiting, to avoid panic. "We cannot wait," Vecren snapped, slamming a hand on the console. "If humans are planning something, we must act before it is too late." Counselor Rithen hesitated. "But we do not know what we are dealing with, we might provoke them unnecessarily." Lyra shook her head. "And if we do nothing, we might be caught unprepared. We must search, we must find them, we cannot ignore the silence." Hours passed, the Council watched as every signal they sent into space went unanswered, and the realization began to settle: humans had left intentionally, and the Council did not know where, why, or how. The thought alone made even the bravest counselors uneasy. In a quiet corner of the chamber, a historian whispered to himself, "Perhaps, they have left to grow stronger, to plan something beyond our understanding." No one dared respond, the fear of admitting it aloud was too great, yet deep inside, every counselor felt the same unease. The first night of the Council's vigil ended, the stars outside unchanged, peaceful, deceptive. The humans were already moving, already executing a plan, while the Council scrambled blindly, unsure of what they faced. Each passing moment, humans were one step ahead. Vecren stared at the empty star maps, clenched his fists. They left without a word, without warning, and now, we must face the consequences of our arrogance. The room was silent again, the weight of the unknown pressing down. The Council realized that the galaxy they thought they controlled might not belong to them anymore. As the chamber lights dimmed for the Council's rest cycle, a faint pulse on the edge of their sensors blinked unnoticed, a sign of human activity, almost invisible, almost mockingly subtle. The Council had yet to see it, yet it was a warning, a promise that humanity's silence was not weakness, it was preparation. And in the darkness beyond the stars, humans watched, silent, patient, knowing that the galaxy had just begun to feel the first tremors of what was to come. The Galactic Council's fleet spread across the galaxy, bright ships slicing through the darkness of space, each carrying sensors, weapons, and crews trained for decades, yet despite their power, every human colony they approached appeared abandoned, silent, and empty. Counselor Vekran stood on the command bridge of the flagship Eclipse, staring at the star maps. No signs, no signals, no movement. It's as if they vanished from existence, he said, his voice echoing across the bridge. Lieutenant Dara frowned. Sir, the energy readings we detected before are growing stronger in some sectors, but still, no contact, nothing tangible. The Council's fleets divided into search groups, each probing deeper into uncharted space, hoping to find even a small clue, but every planet they scanned showed the same eerie emptiness, cities frozen in silence, trade stations dark, ships gone. Ambassador Lyra whispered as she studied the readings, they left deliberately, but why? Are they hiding? Or preparing? Her eyes flicked to a cluster of faint signals, almost like a heartbeat across the void. Look, there, small anomalies, she said, they are there, somewhere. Counselor Rithan shook his head. This is impossible, humans should have left traces, colonies always leave evidence, even if they flee, yet we find nothing. A tense silence followed, broken only by the hum of the fleet engines. Meanwhile, far from the Council's fleets, humans had moved to secret locations, small planets in isolated systems, cloaked ships resting in orbital shadows. They were careful, deliberate, and patient, every move calculated, their energy signatures barely detectable, enough to tease but never reveal. Back on the Eclipse, the Council's scouts began reporting strange anomalies, ships malfunctioning, sensors failing. Our communications are delayed or scrambled, said Lieutenant Dara. The officers exchanged nervous glances. No one had expected this. A simple search should have been easy, yet something was interfering. Vekran's eyes narrowed. Humans are doing this, he said, tension tightening his jaw. They are hiding, and they are smart, smarter than we imagined. Every step we take, they are already planning two ahead. Lyra leaned over the console, pointing at the readings. Sir, these energy pulses, they resemble old human technology, but enhanced, modified, far beyond anything we have seen. It is almost alive. Rithan muttered, we underestimated them, and now we are paying the price. Fleets are searching blindly while humans move unseen. We cannot even predict their next step. The Council debated strategies. Some wanted to follow the anomalies, some wanted to retreat and observe, yet every option carried risk. Every move could alert the humans, or worse, lead to disaster. As the fleet split into smaller units, a scout ship entered a dark nebula, hoping to hide from the human sensors, yet as it passed the swirling clouds, instruments went haywire, lights flickered, alarms blared. Something is here, the pilot said, panic rising. I see nothing, but it is interfering. It knows we are here. Back in secret human outposts, leaders observed calmly, using their advanced cloaking technology. They studied the Council's movements with precision, almost like a game. One fleet moves left, humans adjust. Another fleet scans a system, humans vanish before detection. On the Eclipse, Vekran slammed his fist on the console, frustration boiling over. We are supposed to be the strongest in the galaxy, and yet we cannot find them. They are ghosts, shadows, invisible. How is this possible? Lyra spoke softly, yet firmly. Sir, perhaps they are not trying to fight. They are teaching us a lesson, patience, observation. They want us to realize we cannot control everything. Rithan's voice trembled. A lesson? Or a trap? We are sending our fleets blindly into unknown space. We do not know what humans are capable of. If we continue like this, we may walk into our own destruction. Night after night, the Council's fleet scanned empty worlds, only to find small, almost imperceptible traces of human presence, energy readings too faint to locate, signals too scrambled to follow. It became clear that humans had vanished on purpose, leaving just enough signs to tease and confuse. And yet, humans watched, always from the shadows, quietly testing the Council, learning how they reacted, which systems they checked first, how quickly they panicked. Every failure of the Council a lesson in patience, strategy, and preparation. The Council began to feel the weight of their mistake. The arrogance of assuming humans could be ignored, underestimated, controlled. Each passing hour made them realize that humans had already turned the game, and the Council was not even aware of the rules. Vekran stared at the holographic map. a pale glow reflecting in his eyes. We are searching in vain, and still, we have no idea what they are planning. The humans' silence is their weapon, and we are already losing. As the fleets continued to drift through empty space, one thought lingered in every council member's mind: humans had vanished, but they were not gone. Their silence was not surrender, it was a challenge, and soon, the council would understand the full weight of that challenge. The council fleets continued their endless search, yet every day brought more frustration than the last. Reports came in from scouts who had scanned entire star systems, only to find abandoned stations, silent colonies, and faint, strange energy pulses, too irregular to trace directly. Counselor Vecren stood in the observation deck of the flagship Eclipse, staring at the void, his eyes sharp yet weary. These readings, they are human, but altered, evolved, beyond anything we have ever seen, he murmured. The council members around him leaned closer, curiosity mixed with fear. Ambassador Lyra studied the holographic charts, pointing to a flicker near a distant asteroid belt. Look here, the energy pulses form patterns, almost like a network, linking distant locations across light years. Humans are not hiding in one place, they are everywhere and nowhere at once. The council fell silent, the weight of realization settling like a shadow. Counselor Rithen spoke cautiously: if humans have created such a network, they could be controlling fleets, resources, and even our sensors without us knowing. They could strike at any moment and we would not even see it coming. Meanwhile, on a small, hidden planet far beyond the council's reach, humans moved with precision, their technology humming softly, invisible drones gliding between towers, cloaked ships resting in orbit, and devices that bent light and energy, making them undetectable, yet powerful. The humans were calm, each action measured. Their leader, a woman named Commander Alara, observed the energy network on her console. The council believes they are searching for us, she said to her team. Let them search, let them panic, our silence is our advantage. They do not understand the scope of what we have built. Back in council chambers, scientists and officers were baffled. One expert exclaimed, "Sir, the patterns of energy we detect suggest human colonies are linked in real time across multiple systems. They can communicate, coordinate, and even move resources instantaneously. This is unprecedented." Vecren clenched his fists. They are not merely hiding, they are preparing, they are learning from us while remaining invisible. Every fleet we send is already anticipated, every strategy we plan is already countered. Humans are more than we imagined. Lyra frowned, but why? Why remain hidden? Are they planning war? Or, something else entirely? Rithen shook his head. They are not just powerful, they are patient, calculating, they have time on their side, and we do not. Across the galaxy, small human outposts were already functioning as nodes in the network, energy flows invisible to council sensors, every abandoned colony a decoy, every faint pulse a test to see how the council would respond. Each misstep of the fleets was silently recorded, analyzed, and remembered. On the Eclipse, alarms suddenly blared, sensors picking up a rapid surge of energy from an uncharted system. "Sir, something is happening," shouted Lieutenant Dara, but the readings were confusing. Waves of power moved faster than any fleet, disappearing before being measured, as if the universe itself bent around them. Vecren's voice was cold, tense. "Humans are showing us now the limits of our understanding. We cannot confront what we cannot detect, we cannot fight what we cannot see." Lyra leaned over the console, studying the patterns. They are not attacking, yet, but their presence is everywhere, subtle, silent, like shadows moving through light. They are shaping the battlefield without a single ship in combat. Commander Alara watched from her hidden command center. "Let them search, let them believe they are in control, their arrogance blinds them. They do not know that humans have been building power for generations, patiently, silently, and now, the time will come when they will see us as we truly are." The council debated desperately, strategies growing more aggressive, more reckless, yet every attempt to pin down human activity failed. Each fleet that moved to intercept found only ghosts and empty worlds, and the council began to whisper among themselves, fear creeping into their voices. "They are not just hiding, they are teaching us a lesson," Lyra said softly, more to herself than anyone else. "We cannot underestimate them. Every decision we make now must consider the impossible, because humans, they do the impossible." Vecren stared at the star maps, a cold realization settling in. they are no longer the humans we once knew, they are something greater, more powerful, and we are already behind. Every mistake, every assumption, will cost us. As the fleets continued to drift in the dark void, a faint pulse traveled from one hidden human colony to another, unseen, undetected, almost like a heartbeat of the galaxy itself. The Council's ships could not touch it, could not block it, could not even comprehend it fully. And in that silence, humans prepared, the galaxy unaware that an invisible network of power, patience, and strategy had already changed the rules of engagement, a silent revolution waiting to reveal itself when the time was right. The Council would soon learn, painfully, that humanity's disappearance was not weakness, it was the first act of a plan that no one could have predicted. The Galactic Council had grown desperate, fleets scattered across systems, yet every lead ended in silence, empty colonies, or faint energy pulses that vanished before detection. Counselor Vecran slammed his fist on the command console of the flagship Eclipse, frustration boiling over. We are losing control, and the humans are still invisible, they mock our fleets. Ambassador Lyra glanced at the holographic star maps, the data streams flickering as reports poured in. Sir, our scouts are returning with damaged systems, ships malfunctioning for no reason, sensors failing without warning, she said, her voice trembling. It is as if humans are controlling the environment itself. Vecran's face darkened. No technology should be able to do this, yet, it is happening. We underestimated them, and now our arrogance is costing us dearly. Counselor Rithan leaned forward, his voice tense. Sir, perhaps we should pull back, regroup, observe. We cannot fight what we cannot understand. Every fleet we send seems to fall into traps we do not see. Vecran shook his head violently. Pull back. Retreat? That is exactly what humans want. They are testing us, they are watching us panic, and if we hesitate, we give them the advantage. We must act, we must strike, even if we do not understand them fully. Meanwhile, far from the Council's fleets, humans moved quietly in their hidden networks, observing every fleet movement, every Council debate, their cloaked ships and drones mapping weaknesses, energy pulses subtly interfering with Council sensors, making each Council decision slower, less accurate. Commander Alara watched a simulation of the Council's fleets, a small smile on her face. Let them search, let them fight their own confusion. Every move they make is predictable because they do not know who they face. We have been patient for generations, now the first lessons begin. Back on the Eclipse, officers reported sudden failures in weapon systems, shields dropping for brief moments, engines stuttering. Sir. Systems failing across multiple ships. Lieutenant Dara shouted, alarm lights flashing. Vecran's voice was low, but filled with anger. Humans are interfering with our fleets without even being present. They are ghosts with the power to cripple us. This was never supposed to happen. We should have never underestimated them. Lyra added, and yet, we continue to push forward. We cannot stop now. Every action we take is watched, recorded, and countered. We are playing into their hands. Counselor Rithan swallowed hard. Every attempt to control space, to assert authority, backfires. Every fleet we send into a system is delayed, sabotaged, or misled. Humans are shaping this galaxy while remaining invisible. They are already winning without a single battle. Humans, in hidden locations, quietly laughed at the Council's desperation, small energy pulses creating false readings, subtle manipulations of gravitational fields, even minor disturbances in communication systems, every disruption testing the Council's reactions, patience, and intelligence. On the Council floor, Vecran slammed another hand on the table. We are too slow, too predictable, too arrogant. We have assumed humans are weak, limited, but they are none of these things, and now every mistake we make is magnified. Lyra stepped forward, voice calm but firm. Sir, the human silence was not surrender, it was preparation. Their disappearance is teaching us something we cannot ignore. They are not reacting, they are acting. We are the ones on defense. Rithan added quietly, we have underestimated them for too long, and every fleet we send blindly, every colony we scan without understanding, strengthens their advantage. Humans are shaping the battlefield from the shadows, and we are walking straight into it. Vecran finally sat down, exhausted, staring at the holographic maps. Then we have been blind, fools blinded by our own arrogance. We have assumed control of a galaxy we never fully understood. Humans are not just survivors, they are the true masters of strategy. Meanwhile, Commander Alara moved to another hidden command post. The Council believes they are in control, yet they are reacting to our actions. Every failure, every hesitation, only proves our point. Patience, strategy, silence. This is the power of humans. The Council fleets continued their frantic searches, systems failing, plans collapsing, and every attempt to regain control falling short, fear and frustration spreading like wildfire among their ranks, each officer beginning to realize they had underestimated an entire species. Vecran's final thought for the cycle hung in the air, heavy and grim. Every miscalculation, every false assumption, has led us here, and humanity waits silently, watching, learning, preparing. The first consequences of our arrogance are already upon us. And far beyond the Council's reach, hidden in cloaked fleets and silent planets, humans observed, their networks intact, their power growing, their patience absolute, knowing that the Council's mistakes were only the beginning of a lesson that would change the galaxy forever. The galaxy held its breath, fleets scattered across star systems, scanning, searching, yet finding nothing. The Council had grown desperate, exhausted, their arrogance and underestimation now showing, and then, without warning, humanity returned, not with a fleet of ships to fight, but with a presence that shook the very core of the Council's understanding. On the edge of the outer rim, a bright flash lit up distant stars, energy waves so immense they disrupted communications and sensors for thousands of miles. The Council scrambled, ships veering wildly to avoid invisible forces, alarms blaring. What is happening? Counselor Vecran shouted, disbelief coloring his voice. From the darkness of hidden space, human ships emerged, not ordinary vessels, but vast, elegant structures, dark yet shimmering with energy fields, patterns of light flowing across hulls like living veins, cloaks disengaging seamlessly, revealing fleets the Council had thought vanished. Commander Alara stood on the bridge of the flagship Aurora, calm, commanding, her voice echoing across the fleet. We have returned, not as fugitives, not as subjects, but as the guardians of our own destiny. The galaxy has underestimated humans for too long, now it will see our true strength. The Council watched, frozen, every fleet immobilized by the sudden appearance, sensors overwhelmed, ships unable to move without risking catastrophic failure. Even the bravest counselors could do nothing but stare at the spectacle. Lyra whispered, they are everywhere, yet they were always hidden, their power, their strategy, it is beyond our imagination. Rithan, pale and trembling, muttered, this is not war, this is a revelation, a demonstration. We have underestimated humans in every possible way. Humans moved with precision, fleets positioning themselves in elegant formations across key systems, energy pulses connecting each vessel like threads of light, creating a network that controlled, observed, and protected simultaneously, invisible before, now radiant and undeniable. Vecran's hands trembled as he addressed the Council. We treated them as weak, as simple beings, yet they are not just strong, they are cunning, patient, and powerful beyond measure. Every strategy we used, every fleet we sent blindly, it only revealed how much we did not know. Commander Alara spoke to the Council directly, her voice calm, yet carrying authority that echoed across communication channels. For generations, humans have endured, observed, and prepared in silence. Your arrogance allowed you to underestimate us, your councils assumed control of a galaxy you never fully understood, but today, you witness the truth. We are not your subjects, we are not your rivals. We are humanity, and we decide our own path. Fleets of humans moved simultaneously, energy fields projecting over Council ships, disabling weapons without harm, disabling engines without fire, every movement precise, controlled, a silent demonstration of superior technology and strategy. Lyra and Rithan exchanged stunned glances. They are not destroying us, they are teaching us, Lyra said. Every move is calculated, every action deliberate. They show power without chaos, control without aggression. Vecran finally realized the magnitude of their miscalculation. They left in silence to grow, to learn, to prepare for this moment, and now, we face consequences of our arrogance, our underestimation, our ignorance. Humans had not returned merely to fight or conquer, they had returned to redefine the balance of power, showing that patience, strategy, and silent preparation could overcome even the most dominant council, fleets immobilized by awe and fear. Commander Alara surveyed the galaxy from her bridge. The council has learned what silence truly means, what patience truly teaches. humanity's departure was never absence, it was preparation, and humanity's return is proof that we are masters of our destiny, unseen, unheard, and yet powerful beyond reckoning. Across council chambers, messages were sent, ambassadors trembling, leaders awed, the weight of their mistakes pressing upon every decision. For decades, they had underestimated humans, and now the galaxy itself would never do so again. The humans' return was not just a display of strength, it was a lesson in humility, strategy, and foresight. Every abandoned colony, every faint energy pulse, every hidden network was a testament to their patience and intelligence. Vecren looked at the brilliant display, awe mixed with fear. We are no longer the dominant force, humans are beyond our understanding, beyond our control, and yet, they show restraint, wisdom, and patience, a power we can barely comprehend. Commander Alara concluded, her voice calm but resolute, the galaxy will remember this day, the day humans return not with violence, but with clarity, with purpose, and with power. The galaxy will never underestimate humanity again. As humans repositioned their fleets, energy networks glowing across systems, the Council had no choice but to acknowledge the lesson, a lesson taught silently, patiently, and powerfully. The galaxy had changed, forever.